coming up on the Suze Orman Show. An extraordinary thing happened tonight on the Suze Orman Show, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Also, so you went into student loan debt to be able to live the life that you wanted.
I was having a good time, pretty much.
I need you to settle on down, girlfriend. And you asked me, can I afford it?
It's a World War II history tour in Europe. It's a guided tour and a band of brothers, just like in the movie.
This one is really, really hard for me. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Something extraordinary is about to happen tonight. You are going to hear callers that are very different than we probably would have heard maybe 5 or 6 years ago. As you may know, the Suze Orman Show now is in its 11th year. And tonight, for the first time, I myself have realized that we have had a paradigm shift. What am I talking about? Tonight, you will hear people call in who are simply saying the following. Susie, I know my mom can't afford to do what she's doing. How do I simply say no to her because I want her to keep the money for herself? Susie, my parents want to give me a down payment for a home, but I know, Susie, that I can't afford to make the mortgage payments, and it's everything they have. Susie, how do I say no to them? Susie, my mother had me co-sign a loan for her, and now she's been behind on it, but I'm mad at myself, Susie, because I knew better, and on and on. Today, you are going to see kids that understand the ramifications of not being responsible with money, and now they're trying to get their parents to be responsible. Years ago, it would have been, I want money from them. I should do this. I need help from them. And now we're seeing kids say, I want to do it on my own, and if they help me, they're going to be in danger. Now, tonight is a great night for me, because it's important that I see that this show has had an effect, not just on 1 or 2 of you, but a massive effect on the people that are watching it. And tonight, it's obvious that this show is working. Let's go to the calls. Chris, he's in Massachusetts. What can I do for you?
Hi, Susie. Thank you for having me on your show.
Anytime, Chris. What's up, boyfriend?
Okay, Susie. Well, this is the dilemma. I moved back to my parents. My parents basically want to give me a down payment for a condo that I'm not able to afford. So I'm 37, moved back to save money, and so they're pushing me to buy a $489,000 condo and want to give me $250,000 as a down payment. It's an apartment in the same building where my brother lives, so essentially we'll be owning the building together. If they give me the money, they will have almost nothing in savings, just their pension and their Social Security for retirement. And I'm afraid I won't be able to keep up the payments, and then I'll destroy my credit, and then they'll lose their retirement. How can I convince them, although this is a nice gesture, Susie, this is just not a good idea?
Yeah, Chris, all you have to do is say to them, Mom and Dad, I love you so much, and I get that you're trying to help me. But here's a situation where you cannot afford it. And I happen to love you more than you love me, because I'm saying to you, Mom, Dad, you need this money, and therefore I am not going to take it, and I'm not going to do it. Chris, I could not agree with you more. This is a horrific idea that your parents have. I know that they're trying to take care of their little baby boy, but baby boy really is a mature adult son now, and the responsible thing would be to just look at them and say, I love you, but no, thank you. Let's go to Melanie in Missouri. M&M, what can I do for you tonight?
Hi, thank you for having me on your show. I have a question for you. A few shows prior to this one, it got me thinking. You were talking about how you need to say no to your loved ones. And my mom, she supports me and my brother financially, me and him. I'm 22, he's 25, and she's a single parent. She pays for our college, our cell phone, and our car insurance, which she's chosen to do. But I'm wondering, maybe we need to say no, and that we need to start taking responsibility for our own finances because she does still have a mortgage and credit card debt.
Melanie, now this is 11 years that I've been on this show, okay? The Suze Orman Show. Just maybe, this is my favorite call I have ever gotten on this show, because you just hit it right out of the ballpark, girlfriend. You are so on the money, I can't even tell you. When the day comes, the children can look at their parents, especially their mom that's giving them everything, wants to do everything for them, because mom is always going to love you and her children more than she loves herself. When the day now has arrived where the kids, having watched this show, can look at that and say, Mom, no, you have to help yourself. Mom, no, I can do this on my own. Now we have a paradigm shift when it comes to money. And girlfriend, you are the beginning of that. You should absolutely do that. And again, my favorite call ever in the history of this show. Nelson in Virginia, what do you want to know?
Hi, Susie. I'm worried about my mother's spending, and she's not saving enough in retirement. And I'm about also to graduate in dental school in a few weeks, making a lot of money and also in a lot of debt. But also, I was trying to find out, how do I get her to start saving more for retirement and stop relying on me, and instead of counting me as her retirement plan? Because there's nothing more I would love to do done to help her. But I also want to have our own money. So how am I supposed to help her with that?
Nelson, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
24 years old, and how old is your mom?
56, I believe.
And when you look at your mom, is she a single mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you look at her at the age of 56, besides not saving enough money for her retirement, are there other things that she is doing that's irresponsible when it comes to money?
Not saving and spending more than she makes.
And so that's a big deal, that she spends more than she makes. And what does she spend it on?
Giving.
Giving. And who does she give it to?
To everybody. Anybody that needs money, from church to nations to my family members.
To everybody. So once again, we're in a situation here where you want her to stop giving to others. You even want her to stop giving to you, because you know that if she continues to give to you, eventually you're not going to have enough money, and you're going to have to take care of her as well, because that's just how it's looking, because you're not making enough money right now. Next time she gives to you, next time she gives to other family members, you all need to get together. And you need to take the money that she is giving to you, and you need to say to her, we don't want this money. We don't like what's happening to you. Mom, now you have to give to yourself. If she refuses to give to herself, every time she gives you money or she gives another family member money, you should take that, you should cash it and put it in a side account that you know will be given back to her later on in life, so she'll have money to live on. Does that make sense?
Yes, Susie.
So try to do one of those two things. But here again, we are seeing another call about a son who is worried about his mom because she's giving too much away. Great paradigm shift that's happening in the United States. Second time I've said it tonight. Boyfriend, you know what to do. Just go ahead and do it and be strong. Cara in North Carolina, you have a question for me?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Cara.
I am in a horrible situation right now.
What's wrong?
4 years ago, my mom applied for a home loan and was denied. So she asked me to put the loan in my name. Initially, I declined. A few days later, the realtor contacted me and stated that if I put the loan in my name, in 6 months it will be placed in my mom's name. Since then, I've graduated from college. I did sign for the loan. Since then, I graduated from college. I started my career, and I live 2 hours away from my mom. I recently checked my credit score, and it has been destroyed. I've discovered that she's been late on almost every payment for the last 2 years, and she's been 3 to 6 months behind at times. I just don't know what to do.
So,
here.
So when you checked your score, what was it?
It was 547.
547. Are you upset at your mother for having put you in this situation? Are you upset that your mama can't afford to even pay the mortgage on this home? Or are you upset that you allowed this to happen to yourself? Now, you only can pick one of the three. Which one upsets you the most?
I guess that I allowed it myself.
All right. So, and how old are you?
I am 25. I was 20 years old at the time.
I want you to listen to me closely. At 25, there is still time for you to recover and for your credit score to recover. No problem with that. It will just happen as time goes on. This is a fabulous lesson, however, for you to learn. It doesn't matter whether it is your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your best friend. If anybody ever asks you to co-sign a loan, the answer to that question is no, no, I don't think so, no. And a lot of times people write in and go, but Susie, not everybody is irresponsible. You should always take into consideration if you should do it or not. If a bank is not willing or a mortgage company is not willing to give somebody a loan, that should be an indication that if you have to co-sign, chances are, no matter who that person is, you're going to get in trouble. So that's that. Now your mom's in a situation where she has a home that very shortly, I am sure, will go into foreclosure and it will be taken away from her. What will she do if that happens? Do you know the answer to that one, Cara?
I mean, she would have no other choice but to move. I guess she would get an apartment or
something. So this is now where you are now more of an adult. Be sympathetic with your mother. Don't be mad at her. She's dealing with her own life, and she's not doing a very good job about it. So this is where what you can give your mother at this point in time is support, love, and your respect. So you went into student loan debt to be able to live the life that you wanted.
I was having a great time. I traveled to Greece, Italy, Thailand. I was having a good time, pretty much.
And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a precast stone mantle surround and hearth for my fireplace.
Are you married?
I am married.
You are married, but you keep saying I. Does your husband want this?
Okay, so here's the story.
What? Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, a special education teacher who has learned a really, really tough lesson. My one-on-one tonight is with Carlen. Carlen is 29 years of age. She is a teacher of autistic children, and she lives in the Boston area with her boyfriend of 10 years. Here's her situation. Carlen has about $41,000 in student loan debt. She owes $5,000 to a former employer for tuition reimbursement, and she has about $4,700 in credit card debt. She says her motto has always been live with no regrets, but now she regrets a lot of her decisions. Carlen, girlfriend, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you, Susie?
I'm good. All right. Here's the thing. Whenever I see somebody, especially because I know that you're 29 years of age, when I see them with this much debt, then I wonder, what happened? How did they get into debt? Like, what did you become? What did your student loan allow you to get? What degree are you in so I can start working with you to solve this? So tell me about this debt that you have.
Well, I had my tuition paid for. However, I decided to take out student loans anyways so that I was living in San Diego. I was having a great time. I traveled to Greece, Italy, Thailand. I was having a good time, pretty much.
So you went into student loan debt to be able to live the life that you wanted. Now, there's another person involved in your life, and his name is Mark. And Mark has been your partner now for 10 years, correct?
Correct.
He has stood by your side. He has let you go and travel the world. And there's the picture of the two of you. And he has been probably the only part of your entire life that is rock solid for you. So that no matter what you think about or what you do, he's there for you, correct?
Right.
All right. So here we have a situation where you've traveled the world, your Mark loves you, you go away, you come back, you go away, you come back, but now you're in Thailand, and while you were in Thailand, you were actually brutally assaulted by a few men. They beat you up, they do these things, and now all of a sudden you're finding yourself back in San Diego area, and Mark has come to your rescue again, correct?
That is correct.
Now, Mark's come to your rescue. You're thinking, I'm just going to stay home and I'm going to be with Mark and I'm going to start paying all these debts off, but that's not what you did. What did you do?
Right. I went to Spain because I felt like I had to get back on the horse. I had to, prove to myself that I could still travel again and not allow people to make me feel scared of it. So I went to Spain and taught English.
Now you're back in the United States, and now you go to work for an employer who's now paying you to go back to school, paying you to take courses, and you decide you can't do it, so you leave them. And now you're in a situation which brings us to exactly where you are right now. You're living in Boston. You have to pay your employer, ex-employer, because you quit, $5,000 back for money they paid for you to go to school. You still owe the $40,000 in student loan debt that you took to travel. You have credit card debt. You have all this stuff that's happening. And the question is that you really want to know from me is how do you turn all of this around? Is that correct?
That's correct.
I need you to take bold moves now. And if you had and have what it takes to have traveled the world, you have what it takes to conquer the world of finance. Currently, the thing that's on your plate is a $5,000 loan that you have to pay back to your ex-employer, and you are thinking about taking out another student loan. In fact, you're waiting for it right now to see if it comes through to get another student loan to pay back your employer. What you need to understand is that student loans, even they're for education, they can be good loans. They are the most dangerous loans out there. Because in almost every single circumstance, loans cannot be discharged in bankruptcy if they are student loans. Right. So every time you take out a student loan, you are really risking it. Now, right. If I'm looking at your situation, financially speaking, along with Mark,
right,
we have ways to solve this.
Okay.
But for 10 years, you left Mark. For 10 years, you left, you came back. You left, and you came back. Right. So if we are going to solve your problems with Mark helping you solve these problems, Mark, a man who has stood by you in every possible way, I have to know that you are willing to stand by Mark from this day forward as his loving wife, his loving partner, somebody who will never desert him again. Is that true for you?
Absolutely.
If that is true, then here are the bold moves that I need you to make with Mark. You need to know that we've talked to Mark about this, and he feels great about doing it. Mark has enough money in emergency funds that he can simply, with you, take the money that's in emergency funds and pay off your ex-employer. Now, that is gone. I went through every one of your expenses that the two of you have. From $200 a month smoking, what are you thinking? When you talk about risk, that is a serious risk that all the money in the world may never be able to cure one day. But I've gone through all of your expenses, and I have found easily $1,300 a month that you can cut from your expenses. If you cut $1,300 a month from your joint expenses, then that gives you money to start paying down your student loan. That gives you money to get out of credit card debt. In fact, if you took that money plus the $500 a month you're currently putting towards credit card debt, in 9 months, you will be out of credit card debt. So now you've paid back your ex-employer, you're out of credit card debt within 9 months. Now you start taking all of that money and paying down your student loans. Before you know it, in 2 years after that, you'll be out of student loan debt. Then you have all this money to do what? Start putting in savings, retirement for your future together. Do you see how easy all of this is?
Yes.
That's all you have to do. The hard thing, Carlen, for you to do is going to be to tame that wild spirit of yours that wants to travel the world, wants to leave, wants to take risks, wants to smoke, wants to do this, wants to do that. To solve the reason that you have come to the Suze Orman Show, I need you to settle on down, girlfriend. I need you to get off the horse. And I need you to ride into the financial sunset with integrity, courage, and grace to do the right thing. You can do this. But your knight in shining armor has been waiting for you for 10 years now. Go and walk by his side, and the two of you can solve this, absolutely. But if you don't do it this time, I'm afraid you might never do it. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I would like to buy a mini trampoline.
I remember buying one for myself once. I got really bored jumping up, but it wasn't $343. Are you sure you can't get one cheaper somewhere? Also,
this summer is our 10-year anniversary, and I want to make sure we get away together, but also want to do it guilt-free.
so that doesn't seem like a big thing to ask for, right?
Right.
What do you want to buy?
World War II history tour in Europe.
Mini trampoline.
Relaxing vacation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy. I ask you a few questions, and then I make a decision of what you should do with your life or not. Should you buy it? And I tell you, are you ready? Lori is on. What do you want to buy, Lori?
Hi, Susie. It's an honor to talk to you, so thank you.
Oh, anytime, Lori. What do you want to buy?
Well, every year, my husband and I talk about getting away for a relaxing vacation, and we end up never doing it. It's cheaper to stay home. So this summer is our 10-year anniversary, and I want to make sure we get away together, but also want to do it guilt-free. So I just want to make sure we can afford it.
So where does $3,500 take you? Like, where are you planning to go?
Well, we're not doing anything too crazy, but we want to go to a resort that is in New Mexico.
In New Mexico and into Santa Fe area there?
It is a resort that you don't have a lot of access to anything, so we need quiet time.
Show me the money.
All right. Our monthly combined income is $8,793.
Yep.
Our expenses are $4,560.
Good. Keep going.
Our only debt is our home mortgage, which we owe. We just refinanced, so we're at $142,000. It's a 15-year fixed at 3.75. And then on our savings, we have $22,000 in liquid, and then our retirement total is $257,000.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I have a flex plan on the dependent care side. So once I turn those receipts in, I'll have $1,800, and then the rest we would use cash.
And the rest, so just a little bit there. So that doesn't seem like a big thing to ask for, right?
Right.
I know where you're going.
Hoping.
You're going to love Santa Fe. And if you go there, by the way, on the square, there's a great place to have green chili. I go there just for that. You are denied. Let me tell you why. You are really short of your emergency funds. You don't have enough there. And while I know you could go and you could go away and do that, if then you come back and something happens, one of you gets sick or whatever, there's not enough money to meet all of these expenses that you will have that will carry you through. So it's my responsibility to have to deny you, but you can make green chili on your own. Oh my God. Delisio, what do you want to buy?
Oh my God, I'm talking to Suze Orman. I can't believe it.
You are. Oh my God, you are. But what do you want to buy?
I want to buy a precast stone mantle surround and hearth for my fireplace.
A what? A precast stone mantle for your fireplace for $3,100. Am I looking at the picture of what it's going to really look like?
I don't know if you have the picture what it really looks like, because I'm sure it's not as beautiful as I would want it to be.
Funny, you said I. Are you married?
I am married.
You are married, but you keep saying I. Does your husband want this?
Okay, so here's the story.
What?
Okay, so we bought our house new about 8 years ago, and he's like, oh, no. Let's just get the mantle. After the builder's done with it, it'll be cheaper. And so I thought, well, okay, that's a good point. Well, it's 8 years later, and guess what? There's still no mantle.
Show me the money. Let's see if we can light some fire under your finances here. Go on, show me the money.
Okay, I'm going to show you the money. I'm crossing my fingers, so my husband, not so much. But, okay. So our combined income is $8,701 a month. Our expenses are $5,863 a month. We have a $210,000 mortgage for 15 years fixed, a $40,000 car loan. And our savings is $24,000 liquid, $21,000 in investments, and $80,000 in retirement.
Denied.
What?
Want to try that again? Denied.
What?
One more time. One more time. Denied.
Oh, my husband's clapping, but I'm not clapping.
I'll tell you why you can't do this. You are far short on your emergency fund, number one. Number two, you are 41 years of age and you do not have enough money in retirement, in investments. You just don't have it all going on. Girlfriend, your fire has been put out for now. Eric,
Yes.
what do you want to buy?
Well, ma'am, pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, sir.
Watch you every Saturday night.
Thank you. What do you want to buy, though?
Well, it's a World War II history tour in Europe. It's a guided tour, and a band of brothers, just like in the movie.
Yeah, $8,000 to go over there and look at it all. You know, every time I'm in France or I'm somewhere, it's always like, you know, or even I was recently in the Philippines and I wanted to see, where did all of this happen? Where was the wars? Where did they march? I find those things so fascinating, I can't even tell you. So show me the money, and I'm rooting for you, Eric.
Okay, income is $19.15 a month.
Yes.
And that's $14.50 in Social Security and $465 in pension.
Yes.
And my expenses run about $16.12 a month.
Yes.
My only debt is my house mortgage, and that's $32K.
But you have an arm on that.
I'm sorry?
You have a adjustable rate mortgage on that.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
3%, 15-year arm.
Yep, go on.
Liquid savings is $25K. I've got $75K in investments and $250,000 in retirement.
And as time goes on, so right now you're 64 years of age and you're just kind of meeting your expenses with your pension, and time goes on and you get sick as you go on, and you need a little help around the house, help that, you know, long-term care insurance and those things won't pay for. How do you plan to pay for that if your expenses increase? Where do you get that money from?
Well, I'm in good health right now.
That's why you want to do it right now.
Do it now,
This one is really, really hard for me, because if you go ahead and do it, you're going to be taking the $8,000 from your savings, which brings us down even further, and it's not up there. Eric, I'm sorry, but I have to deny you. I don't want to deny you, but I spend too many times sitting in this chair here or reading emails of what's happened, and there isn't enough money, and this won't pay for that, and then it is like this financial war as you get older. If you just had a little more money, I could have approved you, but currently I don't think you can afford it. Stephanie, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Thanks for taking my call.
Now, Stephanie, I have had to deny every single person in front of you. Everyone.
Oh, no.
So I'm just telling you, this isn't looking good here tonight. So what do you want to buy?
I would like to buy a mini trampoline.
A mini trampoline for $343. I remember buying one for myself once. I got really bored jumping up, but it wasn't $343. Are you sure you can't get one cheaper somewhere?
Yes, this one, the reason it costs so much is because of the quality. I need it because of my joints. I have really bad knees. And if I don't lose the weight, the doctors are saying I'm going to need a knee replacement.
And so you think jumping up and down on this trampoline will help your knees, or it will help you lose weight, or both?
It'll help me lose weight because it'll be low impact on my joints, so then it won't hurt.
I got it. All right, girlfriend, show me the money.
All righty. I take home $2,166.
Yep.
And then my expenses are $2,697, and that includes my rent, which is $536. I have $191,000 in student loan debt, $8,000 in car loan debt, $2,000 in credit card debt, and for my savings, I have $4,000 in liquid, $10,000 in investments, and $72,000 in retirement.
And you're 29 years of age. You're not making enough money every single month to pay your bills, correct?
Yes, correct.
And so yet you still want to take this $300 or almost $400 to buy something that you're not even sure when you use it that you're going to like it, because I got news for you. It is really hard to jump up and down on a trampoline. I have to deny you. And it's killing me, I know, and it's killing me that I have to deny you, but financially you can't afford it. You can lose weight, low impact, by swimming, by doing many other things, by riding a stationary bicycle, whatever it may be, but I think you should try a trampoline, because I got news for you. After you've jumped up and down for 5 minutes on it, you're gonna get tired of it and you aren't gonna wanna do it. Sorry, girlfriend, wanna be part of the Can I Afford It segment. What a bummer tonight was. Anyway, all denied. But it's because they couldn't afford it. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? Just go to SuzieOrman.com and you will find the information you need to know there to come and play with me right here. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Susie. How many times have I said to you, have you been listening to me, sir, that hope is not a financial plan? And later, when you have debt, especially if you cannot pay for that debt, you feel like you are in prison. Welcome back, everybody. Do you know where I am? Take a look around. I'm in the control room at the headquarters at CNBC. Now, there are so many ways that you can participate in the Suze Orman Show. All you have to do is the following. You can email me at SuzieOrman.com. Send an email into SuzieOrman.cnbc.com. Join me on Facebook, or if you want to join me with Twitter, make sure that you put hashtag AskSusie before your question, and it will come right to us right here. And maybe, just maybe, we'll answer it on the air. Let's see what's trending right now. All right, Dan Fulton. Wife lost job. Next day got an offer at 15% below average salary for an in-demand field. Opinion on rejecting offer and hoping for the better. Dan Fulton, how many times have I said to you, have you been listening to me, sir, that hope is not a financial plan? All right, so maybe 15% below what she should be getting, but in a field that there is demand for. That's where she wants to be. Here is what she needs to do. Are you listening to me, Dan Fulton? She needs to make those that she is dependent on a paycheck for dependent upon her. So she starts low. Once they realize her value, once they become dependent on her, oh, she'll get pay raises, she'll get more money than she ever dreamt possible. Don't worry about the money now. Hope, again, is not a financial plan. Do you hear me, Dan Fulton? Let's see what else is trending. April J, 84. All right, do you think that means she was born in June of 84? What do you think the J is? But anyway, that's besides the point. Even though husband's unemployed and money is tight, should I still contribute 401k up to the match? April, you most certainly should. Why? Please, again, listen to me carefully. Money that is in a 401k plan is protected against bankruptcy. If money is really, really tight, and you never know what can happen, after that maybe you have to claim bankruptcy. Things like that can happen to you. Don't you want to know that you have a good sum of money protected? So absolutely contribute up to the point of the match, and if it really starts to get rough, you might even want to think about contributing more than the match. All right, let's go to webcam. Emily in California, what you got for me, girlfriend?
Hi, Susie. I've got a quick question for you. My student loans are now due. This is the first month that they've started, and they're $17,000 and some change. And currently, I only work 2 jobs that makes about $1,200 a month. And I'm wondering if I should use my savings of $38,000 to go ahead and pay them off in full, or keep the savings as a little bit of a cushion in case something happens with my 2 jobs.
So Emily, let's talk about this for a second, because what we're going to discover here is how I want you to make decisions from this point on when it comes to your money, okay? You have $17,000 of student loan debt. How does that debt make you feel?
Pretty nervous.
Nervous. All right. So when you're nervous, you're also afraid. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
When you are afraid, that renders you powerless. When you are powerless and you go in for a job interview, or when you want to do something, people feel how powerless you are, because that's how you're feeling. Do you understand? Then they don't hire you. Then they don't give you a pay raise or a job promotion. But when you are powerful, you know that you are in control. Then everybody wants to be part of that situation with you. So that's number one. Let's look at it on the financial side. What is the interest rate that you are paying on the student loan debt?
I believe it's 6.8%.
And you believe correctly. The $30-some-odd thousand that is sitting in a bank account for you right now, what is that earning for you?
Less than 1%.
So do you think it is worth to lose almost 6.5% a year on your money just for the security of having that there, especially when that loan is rendering you what? Powerless? Do you really think that's what you should do?
No, not necessarily.
No, so if I were you, I would pay it off in full. That still leaves you with like $18,000. That is a lot of money. When you don't have any debt, all of a sudden you'll find out you're making more money. That's what I would do. All right, let's go back to the studio, but here's what's coming up next. Janine asked me, Susie,
how are we doing? Our goal is to retire in 20 years and earn the same amount of money per month that we make now.
You still have 20 years to go. Things can happen. Welcome back, everybody, to the How Am I Doing segment. Don't you want to know if you're doing okay? Are you saving enough? Are you spending too much? Can you retire when you want to? This is where we find out. And tonight, Janine wants to know, Susie, how am I doing?
Hi, Susie. My husband is 46 and I'm 40. Our goal is to retire in 20 years and earn the same amount of money per month that we make now. I've been working the numbers and I think we can do it. We desperately want to get out of the cold and spend 6 months in Florida or any place where it's warmer. Susie, how are we doing?
Janine, welcome to the Suze Orman Show. How are you?
I'm good, Susie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, good. Where in Florida do you want to go to?
We love the Gulf Coast.
You do,
yes.
Huh? You know, I'm a Florida girl. I love Florida. I count the days till I get to go home because I just love it there. And so many times people look at me and they go, really, Susie, you love Florida? I go, I love it so, but let's just keep it a secret between us, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's look at your money, and then I'll ask you to grade yourself, and then I'll give you a grade as well. Okay. So let's see what you got going for yourself, my dear Janine. All right. You are 40, Mark is 46. Obviously, you're married, $5,500 a month in take-home income. Expenses currently are $4,500 a month about. You have $160,000 in retirement, $7,100 in emergency funds, $159,000 is the current home value of your home, but you have mortgage debt of $113,000, and you have consumer debt of $19,000. Your total assets are $327,000. And total debt of $133,000. All those are rounded off, so it's easier for me to say. So you're looking at this. You want to retire in 20-some-odd years from now. So the question becomes, what grade would you give yourself?
I would give myself a B-.
And why would you give yourself a B-?
Well, because I know that you're going to ding me on the emergency fund.
Yep.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
And I know we need to get the consumer debt taken care of, which we have a goal for that as well.
And so for those two things, you've gotten yourself at a B- rating, correct?
Correct.
Well, guess what? I agree with you 100%.
Great.
So you already know the things that aren't going right for you. So the question then has to be asked and answered. What is your way to an A? So here's the good news, my dear Janine. When you look at what your Social Security, when you look at your pensions that you're going to get and things, it's going to give you enough money to accomplish your goals. But as you get older, you may need more money than currently you have in expenses right now. So what is your way to an A? I want you to absolutely, number one, pay down your credit card debt. Number two, I want you to increase your emergency funds. You have $7,100 in it. You need about $32,000 in an emergency fund because you still have 20 years to go. Things can happen. And if you don't have that in an emergency fund and something goes wrong, you're going to see your credit card debt escalate. So it is important that you have that in emergency funds to use. Also, you need more in retirement because while your pensions are great, Social Security is great, you're still retiring when you're about 60, so we need a few more years while you're in retirement until everything kicks in for you to get that money. That will come from your retirement account, and currently you do not have enough money in there. Also, you have to make sure in case anything goes wrong that you're okay. You don't have a will, you don't have a trust, so your way to an A is to get the correct documents in place today that protect your tomorrows. If you just keep going and do those few things, girlfriend, you are going to have a grand retirement. Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. I want to talk to those of you out there who are graduating college, and you're thinking to yourself, if I don't travel now, if I don't have fun now, when I get older, I won't be able to do anything. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Well, that brings us to almost a wrap here on the Suze Orman Show. But before we go, there's still one more thing that I want you to know. Earlier tonight, we heard from our one-on-one guest, Carlen. Carlen was a woman who just took all of her student loan money. She didn't need it for school. She took $40,000 to travel the world. She did debt after this, after that. And now here she is at 29 years of age, not knowing how do you pay it back? What do you do? I want to talk to those of you out there who are graduating college. Maybe you're about to graduate. And you're thinking to yourself, if I don't travel now, if I don't have fun now, when I get older, I won't be able to do anything. So you go out and you use student loans for other things than going to school. You get yourself into credit card debt. You borrow money. You do this, you do that. And if you do that, I am here to tell you it is, without a shadow of a doubt, going to be the biggest mistake you have ever made, bar none. It's one thing if you have more money than you know what to do with. And you take that money and you pay cash for it, and you still, when you come back, you still have a lot of money. It's another thing if you are getting yourself into debt to have fun. When you have to deal with that debt later on in life, it is not fun. Listen, debt is bondage. You will never, ever, ever have financial freedom if you are in bondage. When you have debt, especially if you cannot pay for that debt, you feel like you are in prison. You feel that these walls are closing in on you, and no matter what you do, it gets worse and worse and worse. And then you think back and you go, why did I do that to myself? I didn't have to do that. Because the real truth of the matter is, as you get older, it doesn't mean that you can't do things. You get older and you enjoy them more, especially if you can pay for them and you can afford them. So the thing I want you to know here is this. Stop limiting yourself. Stop doing things to yourself that will hurt yourself later on in life. You have all the time in the world to travel. You have all the time in the world to do these dreams that you have. But if you do your dreams now when you cannot afford it, those dreams are going to turn into your greatest nightmare. Now you know. But until next time, there's only really one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.